How's it going, everyone? This is R. Gilliard here, and I'm going to be reviewing one of my favorite movies of all time, even the Thomas franchise. We're going to be talking about Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Now, this movie came out in theaters since 4 years before I was even born. Ever since then, when I saw it in VHS at my grandma's house, I loved it ever since. I'm going to talk about what made it good. First off, the characters were really great. Alec Baldwin seemed a bit dramatic, but he still has charm in him. Peter Fonda, you may not find depressing, but I thought acting rhymed in him. It was really good. Mara Wilson's performance was the greatest. Michael E. Rogers was really great. As for the engines, Thomas's voice was pretty outstanding. Edward Glenn's voice still stood out perfectly. It gave him a faint British voice. It almost sounded like 10 Cents from Tugs. But John Bellis, he almost sounded okay. Diesel 10's was outstanding. Neil Crone did a pretty good job with that. James's voice sounded perfectly for her, since he was voiced by Susan Roman. Percy's was youthful. It sounded good, like a children's one, who's very confused of the world around him. Gordon's was pretty snooty. Henry's was a bit Welsh then. Splatter and Dodge's voice was pretty funny. They sounded like Burke and Blair. Or the state troopers from Star Wars. They were good henchmen for Diesel 10. They stand up for themselves, even when they abandoned Diesel to leave him to do his dirty work by himself. Toby's was pretty outstanding too. His voice suited him. It would have been fun for Edward though. Though it would have been okay without him. Edward would have been the one who took Sir Topham Hatt out on vacation. Onto the plot. Well, I know some others may find it a bit, confusing at times, but I followed the plot very well. I didn't think it had flaws. It was perfect. I understand why Diesel 10 wanted to destroy Letty and why Burnett hid her and how she got her powers. I even understand what the consequences of the Sodor Railway was. In this movie, we learned such more than just helping each other brings the life and magic in all of us. Lady was beautiful. There's more lessons. Gordon and James tease Thomas for being little, and they boast that big engines are more superior in the scene at Tim of Sheds. But Thomas is right. Little engines can do big things. It teaches us how to stand up to bullies and have the courage and believe that you can do big things, especially Burnett. Rest in peace, Peter Fonda. As for the Thomas, even if he got a little screen time, his role seems a bit important to Britt Allcroft as a supporting character. I still kind of felt he was important. Even if some characters or people were missing, you can still see them as cameos, including Boomer. As for the road vehicles like Birdie and Harold, their roles were really cool too, especially racing with Thomas, especially Birdie's rumming sound, and Harold's voice booming from probably his driver's microwave, or his pilot, or whatever. It was perfect to add Shining Time Station with Thomas. It was a perfect crossover. Besides, children on the other side of Atlantic thought it was amazing. I give it points for that, especially the awards and the merchandising. The music and soundtrack was really cool, especially the soundtrack of Diesel 10, Thomas, Mr. Conductor, even The Rainbow Sun. Human Mind does a great job of that, especially with Junior Campbell and Mike O'Donnell at them. The Really Useful Engine song was extremely my favorite. The children suited it well. Shining Time Station song suited perfectly for woman's accent, even for the opening sequences. I Know How the Moon Must Feel was pretty good, especially at sad parts. The song where Junior is at the beach suited him well. Junior was a funny character, especially in the deleted scenes. There were also some action scenes, especially at the smelter scene where Diesel 10 almost pushes Junior and James into the smelting pit. The part where Toby distracts Diesel 10, splatter, and dodge. And of course, the chase scene where Thomas and Lady and Burnett defeat Diesel 10. So in spite of bad press, the movie still continues throughout the day. Even had 2 awards for Mara Wilson. I still like it today, even though some people don't agree with me. So in spite of half bad press, I still credit it for its realism. Even to this day, its reception is getting better. I agree with everything in this film. It's my favorite movie of all time. Even my best friends. Even if there weren't any humans around, there's still some, including the driver and Birdie's cat. You can also see some of the passengers' shadows around the coaches. Even if there aren't any humans shown or any cities, it still looks real to me, including Shining Time. I still like this film today, even if it doesn't get any liking to anyone else. Well, that's all today, folks. Next is Calling All Engines. If you have any questions or replies, just be sure to leave a comment, like, or subscribe.